was reading about brain organoids, which are very tiny brains, and they're used to test CNS drugs, central nervous system drugs. Is that something that might be appropriate to brilaroxazine? And what do you think about using brain organoids to do some of this testing?
Yes.
Would it allow you to skip some of the human trial work and kind of get more advanced? Do you think?
I don't think at this time that the technology, the field is that matured enough to bypass some of the clinical trial. But at this time, it is very early stage, that technology. This is, you can consider as an ex vivo study, kind of extension of in vitro studies. So this only gives some additional information about possible activities in human, but it is not a replacement. But certainly in the coming years, if the technology develops there, it might certainly benefit in advancing or knowing some of the predictive clinical outcome.
Okay.
That's kind. It
could help you just be more efficient, I
guess.
guess.
Correct. Yeah.
And then that also brings up AI. And I think today it's hard to have a business conversation without bringing up AI. How do you see that playing a role in drug development, and potentially specifically with brilaroxazine or other schizophrenia drugs?
Yeah. Yes, certainly AI is a very useful tool, but I'm a bit skeptical about AI for the interventional therapy.
Okay.
This is a serious disease and it requires interventional therapy. But certainly, I'll give you an example. The technology using AI, we use the vocal biomarker is nothing but AI, this thing, because machine learning can detect speech latency in this schizophrenia patients to
right,
a
I think you
millisecond
actually
level.
used AI to help with
This
your
certainly
speech latency,
helped
right?
In the diagnostic level, and then where also the treatment worked or not. But to use that AI as a treatment could be challenging. But certainly AI has a place in the pharmaceutical field, and then it can certainly assist the drug discovery and development, but still...
and the evaluation of biomarkers too, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Certainly, this is a tool to watch for further benefiting the, whether it is a diagnostic area, but certainly it can help to speed up. But it can't be used, to my knowledge, as an interventional or a substitute for pharmacotherapy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
I thought I'd bring up a financing question.
Sure.
There are a lot of warrants out there that expire soon.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them are in the money. There's also other opportunities for capital raises, including royalty financing and partnerships.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about what you're seeing there and on the financing side?
So, especially when you are very close to NDA, that is a good place to be with respect to raising money. So if we believe if the FDA feedback is positive, and then considering the unmet need in this space, so we may be able to find a good partner, or there may be we are ready for M&A type good, what we have seen in the recent past. But when I say good place to be, in a sense, say when you are closer to the market, you have multiple opportunities to finance beyond what we are now. So one is when I say financing multiple opportunities, obviously we would like to bring strategic money in, and then we look for actively either M&A or a good partnership for asset based. We have multiple assets in the company. And another thing is, if you look at some of the companies in the last few years at a similar stage, opted for non-equity financing, either debt financing or a royalty financing. That is very attractive capital at this stage to bring it to commercialize the product. We are at that stage. We would like to explore. So even if we go for equity-based financing, we believe with a positive outcome, market cap will respond appropriately. Some of the outstanding warrants, we have close to 80 plus, close to 90 million warrants outstanding, dollar worth of warrant, $90 million worth of warrants outstanding.
Okay, yeah, if exercised.
They are in the range of anywhere 50 cents to $3.
Okay.
With the positive outcome, with market cap going up, we believe some of the warrants will exercise, especially close to 40 million worth of warrants. They expire in early June 2026. If they don't expire, they will expire. At least we believe around 40 million worth of warrants will exercise by May, June. That will be a good amount of money for us to create value for commercialization.
Well, set you up to be in a good position for negotiation, and then also
Correct.
perhaps run that
Correct.
other study that you mentioned that
Correct.
for the negative symptoms
Yep.
and all that. You know, the market in schizophrenia, the M&A market has been pretty robust with several multi-billion-dollar deals. The most recent one was J&J for intracellular, and I think that was 14 plus billion.
14.9 billion.
Yeah, almost $15 billion there for that. So that's giving quite a value to their asset. And then we also saw one of the very few IPOs this year, LB Pharma, got done with a company that has their lead indication in schizophrenia. What does this say for the market and the value of brilaroxazine? All of these transactions taking place, and then I think there's also a lack of other assets out there besides what I mentioned, in development that could potentially be competitors to brilaroxazine.
All these developments are really positive developments for companies developing drug for schizophrenia or in general mental illness. So that clearly shows that there is a significant unmet need, and then market size is very big. So now, when you mentioned the intracellular acquisition by J&J, 14.9, prior to that, if you look at Corona Therapeutics acquisition by BMS or Cerevel by AbbVie,
right. Those were also multi-billion-dollar deals.
That created a momentum in that. In this space. But again, if you look at these two deals, muscarinic targets, I believe that was Wall Street bubble. Now, because it's a kind of a bubble, when I say bubble, it was an atmosphere created moving forward to, it should be non-dopamine serotonergic mechanism. That's the only way to go. That's the kind of an aura bubble created. But failure of a trial, especially the neurocrine trial, and then AbbVie trial failed in the muscarinic. Now, muscarinic area for schizophrenia, it's kind of I believe that hype is not there. And then acquisition of intracellular that reinforced the faith that what works for schizophrenia with a cleaner side effect, that's the way to go. Because intracellular is a traditional mechanism with a safety profile better than compared to other. Now, you brought about another company, LB Pharma. LB Pharma, if you look at that, is a repurposed drug of amisulfide, dopamine antagonist, and a serotonergic activity. It has a profile of kind of similar to other atypical antipsychotics. But still, it's a good IPO. That's clearly an indication that there is a huge unmet need. With a little bit improvement in the benefit to patients, still there is a room for new drug. So that is a good sign. The goal is, at the end of the day, regardless of the mechanism, and then we as a pharmaceutical company to bring next generation treatment that can benefit patients. So, of course, mechanism and other things are good for differentiation. Differentiation, if it is a clinical data, ultimately that benefits patients.
I thought I'd end on a question about
Sure.
the markets. They've been, 2025 has been a rough year,
Sure.
pretty much all around, unless you're one
Yep.
of the very few AI companies out there. What is your view on how things are going in the life sciences, and what do you see for 2026?
I feel 2026 will be the great year compared to 2025. Of course, 2025 has been very quite challenging. Up lately, the new deals in the, especially mid-size and micro-cap companies have been very quite challenging to raise capital.
Well, I think most of the M&A has actually been focused on larger companies, like
Yeah.
Intracellular, for example. Their drug is
Correct.
already approved.
That is also, if you look at in the CNS space, it is in the last 5 years, there is little bit diversion in the attention of development companies focused on psychedelics. Now that bubble has gone, to my knowledge, not many companies are focused on psychedelics. And then there are not many drugs are in development. If you look at hardly any drug in development for in the late stage or a phase 2, phase 3 level for major depressive disorder in the schizophrenia, but the market is huge. So there is a big vacuum. So any drug which has a incremental little bit improvement over currently available treatment, in my opinion, expect to do fairly well. Even in the development stage companies will provide a good hope for future next generation drug. And then if somebody has a confirmatory data at the approval level, that speaks really clearly volume like ours, confirmatory data. So in general, I believe with the huge unmet need, CNS space, especially mental illness space, and the neurology space, Alzheimer's and Parkinson, there is a grow in the sense there is a patient population because a longevity in patients' life expectancy is very high, 80 to 90 years people live these days. So neurology space, neuropsych space is there is a huge demand for developing new drug.
Yeah. Well, one of the nice things about brilaroxazine is that, you have your lead indication in schizophrenia, but you've also got major depressive disorder, bipolar, and I think 4 or 5 others beyond that that you can develop, assuming you get the schizophrenia approval done. So it sounds like you've got a long road ahead that you can follow, and a lot of potential successes as well. Dr. Bhat, thank you so much for joining us and sharing us the story about brilaroxazine and where you're headed next. To remind everybody, we had Dr. Laxminarayan Bhat, the CEO of Reviva Pharmaceuticals, ticker symbol RVPH.